What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to be continuing from where I stopped. So in the last video we looked at how we're going to arrange the files and all things that we're going to do. So today I'm going to be starting with creating the table view cells and the home recipe or the home screen. So this home screen. Alright, so first of all, there's a new update. For some reason it seems like Chameleon framework is not it's not doing what it's supposed to do, because it seems like it is outdated or something like that. And I've tried everything on earth to update this Chameleon framework, but I was using this Chameleon framework earlier because I wanted to do custom colors. We can do that later, but what we're going to do right now is to ignore the custom color so we can move ahead or move further. So Chameleon is going to be in the way because like I said, I've tried to update it and it's giving me errors. I don't have the time to sit down and debug it. So what we're going to do right now is to ignore Chameleon for now, and we can just use ordinary orange colors and just keep going. Right now all I want to do is keep going with this project because it seems like every time I want to make a video something breaks. But let's just go straight into it. So right now, if you go to the custom color, you're going to see that Chameleon is complaining. So we're going to completely ignore Chameleon. So what you're going to do is go to the project directory, so where you saved your project, and you're going to delete all the cartridge folders. So delete the cartridge.resolve and the cart file. So select that and move it to trash because we're not going to be using it any longer. Now after you've done that, you want to come to the top here where we've tried to import Chameleon to use it. So I'm just going to take this away right now, and so because I was using Chameleon here, now it's gonna complain right here. So what we're gonna do is just return orange color right here. So right now, once we are initializing, we're just gonna ignore all these things here and just ignore all this right now. We'll fix that later. I just want to move forward with this app because it's like taking forever. Okay, so orange is gonna be UI color, the orange. Okay, so now it's not seeing the UI framework because we're using Foundation. So Foundation is a library primitive to the UI kit. So whenever we are using UI, anything that has to do with UI, you want to use the UI kit framework. So after you do that, then this this warning or this error should go away. So now I can see my UI color. So UI color dot orange color. I don't need this as well. Alright, so that's that. Now we're gonna make sure, I think the only place we used Chameleon was just the colors, so we don't have to worry about that. Just have to just return ordinary colors for now, and then later we can continue. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna do is just build the project. Okay, build field. Alright, so now it doesn't know what this is. Okay, so this is the color for the text field, right? So the text field is this one. Let me go right here. This color right here. Alright, that's the text field. So for that, because I'm not using Chameleon, I'm just gonna return basic colors for now, so I don't slow down. So this is a gray color, right? Let me see. Yeah. So it seems like this color is this type of initialization of colors using the hex is no longer available. Let me see. I can fix that. Nah, that wouldn't work. So what I'll do is just take this away. That's the old way of creating colors. So I'll just do light gray right here, and then I'll do CG color, because that's the border, right here. And then for the, maybe I should use dark gray for now. Let me see, dark gray, yeah, the CG color. And then the placeholder is lighter than the placeholder is lighter than the borders. So what we're gonna do is put some light gray there. Okay, CG color. What color does this take? Does it take CG color? I guess it does. I see. So I'm gonna do quick help here. Let me see. I'm trying to find the. I want to make sure this takes a UI color instead of a CG color. So it says an attributed string key, the foreground color is this. So let me see what this takes. So hit Command and then select that and then show quick help. So it said the value of the attribute is a UI color object. So I'll make sure this is a UI color. Alright, because yeah, because initially we're just returning a UI color. Alright, hope that makes sense. Alright, let me build it again. Yeah, I tried to build this project and I was having several errors from all angles, and I'm like, I'm gonna finish this thing. I'm gonna try and finish this thing. So where is my simulator? Okay, now I'm gonna drag this and put it right here. Just ignore that. Okay, trying to run it again. Okay, so here we go. I'm just using just orange color for now, and I'm not using the custom color. So I'm gonna continue, and you can see this is, it looks the same, but let's not worry about this right now. Let's just go straight to the home screen. That's like where I want to start today. So once you hit the login button, you're gonna come to the home screen. Now, because we're gonna be working on the home screen, I don't want to be clicking the login and then going through the sign up phase. I just want to come straight to the home screen. If you have seen several ways of doing this, there is one way to do this, which is to go to the app delegate. Now, the app delegate is the first place your app is gonna visit when it loads. So all the things it needs, to like set up, the first is just like the entry point of the application. So I'm gonna come here and I want to set this screen as the first place so that it's just gonna come here directly. I don't want to be clicking that login button, because we're going to be working here for some some while, or we're going to be working here for a decent amount of time. All right, so I want to make this the startup screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the app delegate, and in the app delegate I'm going to go to the date finish launching with option. So now I want to get this screen. Now this screen, if you remember, that screen is in the tab bar, all right? Because the tab bar is holding all of these screens, remember? So this tab bar storyboard, right? What's the storyboard ID? Tab bar section. So let's just copy that real quick. Okay, so this is what is holding all those four things, right? Checking my camera, making sure it's not cutting or stopping. All right, so we've reached 12 minutes. Okay, so let's come back to the app delegate, and then we're going to create a storyboard. So storyboard is UI storyboard, and then we're going to init it with the name. And what is the name of the storyboard? Right, the storyboard is tab bar menu. So put it right there, tab bar menu storyboard. Okay, and then the bundle is nil. Okay, so I have this tab bar storyboard. In fact, let me name this tab bar storyboard, so that it makes sense, right? So now by doing this, I'm creating this storyboard in code. I'm referencing this storyboard right here. So now I've referenced the storyboard. The next thing I want to do is to reference this scene. See, the storyboard contains a set of scenes in it, and this scene is the tab bar controller. This scene here, tab bar controller scene, is holding the tab bar, right? So I want to create this scene. Remember, the ID of this scene is tab bar section. So remember to copy this. So I'm going to Control C on this, and then I'm going to say let tab bar scene, or let's say tab bar controller, because the controller is inside the scene, right? Remember that. So I'm going to say this storyboard, right? Instantiate a view controller that has this identifier, right? You get that? So remember, we created this, and then I said this storyboard reference here, please instantiate me a view controller that has this ID. Now when you're doing that, right, I want it to be a UI tab bar controller, right? Right, so we are casting it. So you say get me the reference of the storyboard. Okay, if this is a storyboard, create me this tab bar controller and make sure and I'm telling it that I am sure it is a tab bar controller. So that's what this casting is doing. So we are casting it as a tab bar controller. So after casting as a tab bar controller, then we're going to use this tab bar and present it to the UI window, right? So this is what I'm saying. See this window here. This window has a root view controller, so we're going to present it right here. So this is what I'm saying. Say this window dot root view controller, right, is equal to this tab bar controller, and then the window dot make key and visible, right? So I'm just gonna bypass all that things there. So let me try that. So run it, and then should show your tab bar. Okay, so now it just bypassed all those settings and then just came here. So now all I have to do is walk on the home screen. Remember that. this home screen that has the food recipe cell. All right. Okay. All right. So this is where we are. So the first thing we're going to do is create this cell first, right? Because this one, like I explained, I don't want to explain it several times. This one is the also, if you didn't get this message or reference, make sure you check the last video. Make sure you are coming all the way from the first video. If not, you're gonna get lost. All right, so in the last video I was saying I'm gonna create this first, right? This cell. So this is what I'm saying. So the home table view controller. This is the home table view controller, right? It has a table view inside. So first of all, let me clear all these things here, and then clear all these things here. This is a very old code, so you might not see all the settings when you create it in the new Xcode. So this is where we're going to be working on, this home table view controller. All right. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create a folder, new group, and then I'm going to call this cells. Right? So I'm going to put all the whole cells that we're going to create, we're going to put them here. Right? Now, to start with, this cell, let's call it the recipe cell. So let's try and create this one first. Now, there are several ways to create table view cells. You can do it in code programmatically. That is, if you are very confident enough. If you are feeling confident, if you're feeling like a ninja programmer, right, like a ninja coder, you can do it that way. However, there are also numerous ways to create it. Now, if you have your storyboard, and in your storyboard you have your table view controller. Now this is the table view controller, right, for the home screen. This table view controller here, it has a table view cell. You see this table view cell here, right? You can just enlarge it and then start creating all your cells here, right? But the thing is, once you create your table view cell in this view controller, in this FLA VR scene, you see this scene, how are you going to use it in another place? No, the scrolling. How are you going to use it in like the favorites? Right? That's the $1 million question, right? So I think that's also why some people don't like using storyboard, because it looks like you're putting everything in one place. But actually, storyboards or the interface video is much more intelligent than what you think. There are ways to use it that you will see that people really thought about it before building it. So, like I was saying, if you create your table view cell right here, you're going to be stuck with it here. So in your other storyboard, how are you going to use it here? You're going to recreate it again, like come back here and start doing, and come back to the table view cell here and start doing the cell and start creating it again here. No, we don't want to do that, because we have initially talked about all the things that are common in the app and are repeating. The best thing to do is to create one custom item, and then we can use it everywhere we want, right? So in essence, there are several ways to create a table view cell. You can either create it programmatically and use it in your code, or you can create it right here, right? You see all this place. Or the third way to do it is to use XIB, right? So these are files that were initially used before this storyboard came, right? So I'm talking too much, right? This is what I'm saying. I'm going to create select your right click on your cell and say new file. And then the first thing you're going to do is to create the class of the table view cell. So the class of the table view is a Cocoa Touch class. So this is what I'm saying. The class is a, let me say the class is a recipe cell, right? And the subclass is UI table view cell, because we want to create a table view cell, right? That's what we're just talking about here 200 million times, right? Recipe cell. And once you create it like this, you're going to hit next, and you're going to select it. You make sure it's selected here, and then create. So this cell is what, this class recipe cell is what identifies or what represents the custom cell we're going to create in the XIB, right? So first thing you're going to do is to create the cell, the class. Now after doing that, now we want to create the XIB. Okay. Now I'm going to select the view, right? Come down here, select the view, and hit next. And then you're going to give it the same name you gave the Swift file, right? So this one is a recipe cell. Okay, so this is an XIB, right? So you can see it looks like a storyboard, but it's not a storyboard, it's an XIB. You know, it's just like a scene, you know, that is contained inside a storyboard. So now we've successfully created our first recipe cell. That's it. That's all you have to do, right? Not quite. But after doing this, all you have to do next is to start customizing and, you know, setting it and then making it look like what you want. So the first thing you're going to do is select this scene here, this view. Select it, make sure it's selected here. Also, you can open this drawer right here, so you can, down here, so you can see more details about it, especially the hierarchy. I'm trying to close this place. Okay, there we go. So select your view. Once you select your view, come to the attribute inspector, and then for the size, you're going to select freeform, and then we don't want the top bar, we don't want any bottom bar, right? Because you selected freeform, you can see, you can adjust it however you want. Now this view, right? I want this view to be the recipe cell. I want this view to be the recipe cell. So this is what I'm going to do. Select this view, go to the identity inspector. For the class, you're going to look for recipe cell. So this view is now a recipe cell. Making sure my camera doesn't stop recording, otherwise it's going to mess up my editing. Okay, this is going to be one long video, so I hope you guys have popcorn and coffee and whatever. Okay, so now we've associated this class with this view here. So this is the cell. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is to start adding the height and weight. So I'm going to select this design right here, and the weight is 344 and the height is 232, right? Okay, so I'm going to select that, and the weight was the height was 232, right? So I'm going to make it a little bit higher, and I'm going to make it more wider. Now, because I wanted to stretch the width of this screen, right? The width of this thing is 375, right? What's the width of that? Let's go to the home. Select this scene right here, or you can select the table view, go to the size and look for the width. See, the width is 375. Okay, so we're going to come to the cell. I want to make it the same width as the parent view, which is the home screen, right, or the home table view controller. So this guy is 375, right, and the height is 232, right, but I'm going to make it 260, right, 260, so I'll have space, you know, at the bottom and the top. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to add a UI view to it. So I'm going to select UI view right here, and I'm just going to drop it in there. Now this recipe cell, to differentiate it, select this background color in the attribute inspector and hit the light gray color. So you can see the light gray one is the cell. Don't forget that, right? Now remember that this background here has a kind of weird color, right? So the background of this home screen, it's not white, it's not gray, it's like, I don't know, the color is kind of weird. So what I thought of doing was to use a drop shadow for, you know, all this. It's going to look really cool, it's going to look really nice. So, you know, just add a drop shadow to all these things, and it's going to be like very, very nice. So then I can just ignore what this color is. It looks like white, but it's not white. This is what I'm saying. This view here is the one that's going to be the drop shadow view. All right. So I'm going to hold Option. I'm going to look at the size. That's 16. I want to make sure that's 16. Hold Option and then move your cursor around and see that's 16. And then I'm going to make sure that one is 8, and I'm going to make sure this one is 8 as well. So hold Option, that's 8, and then select that. Hold Option, that's 7. Or you can just come here and then reduce the height a little bit, and then, oh my god, stop that. There's one reason why people don't like storyboards, right? Okay. No, just move it up one a bit, and then now this is going to take forever. All right, so just make it 8 and then make this one 8. There we go, finally. All right, now I'm going to add some constraint. So select your constraint right there, add those constraint. So now I've added some constraint to it. So this view here is the shadow view, right? Because I want the shadow view to be sitting behind, you know, all the good stuff, right? So I'm going to apply shadow to this one, and then, you know, all the ones that has the images and the text and everything will be in front of that, so that this one is just going to be the shadow view. This is what I'm saying. This is the shadow view, right? I'm going to call it shadow view. Shadow view, right? Now I'm going to get another view. I'm going to put this the same height and width with the shadow view. So it's just going to be right in front of the shadow view. Now, once you come to this area right here, you can see that this view is inside the shadow view. Select it and bring it out like that, right? Once you bring it out like that, that means this shadow view is at the back, right? And this one is in the front, in the foremost area. So apply some constraint to this one, the same constraint that you had for the other one. So 8, 16, 16, and 8. All right, so once you apply your constraint, then we're going to start. Let's see if we can get this cell to show in this table view controller. So come to your attribute inspector and just select custom, and then just make it like this, right? Okay. All right, so let's try and get this cell to show in the home screen. So I'm going to go to the home table view controller, and then I want to register the cell. So I'm going to say let recipe cell equals to UI nib init with nib name, and the name of the cell is recipe cell, uppercase recipe cell, and the bundle is new, just like how we did the tab bar controller, right? We have to, okay, just like how we did the tab bar controller, we can also do the same thing. So I'm telling it, go find me this XIB, and I want to reference that, and then I can use that and register it for the table view. Because the table view is going to be using this cell, I have to register this to the table view, so the table view knows that that is the cell that I want it to use. This is what I'm saying, right? This table view controller here has a table view in it, right? You know what? When you subclass a UI table view controller, if you hit command and jump inside, you can see that it has the table view inside. See this table view? So there's a table view inside a table view controller class. Sometimes you can use a UI view controller, but then you have to connect your table view and set the delegate and data source. But there's already a table view inside the table view controller. Alright, so that table view, right? Maybe I'll say self dot. So that table view, right? This one that's inside, that one I just show you. Register, I'm gonna say register this nib, right? This nib here, recipe cell. Register it for this identifier. So I want to tell this table view, whenever I say this recipe cell string, go and get me that nib. That's what I'm saying, right? That's what I say, go and find that thing. So it knows where to go and find it. Alright, I'm gonna just take away this did receive memory warning, don't need it, don't worry about that. So table view has delegate methods, and these delegate methods are things that sets up the table view. So the delegate and the data source, right? These are protocols, and protocols are a way to have an agreement, or I don't know, a consensus or whatever, right? Let's say you're going to a party and they say it is all white. Now if you come there with jeans, blue jeans and whatever, you broke the protocol, right? Because they said all white, so you can't get into the party, basically. So protocol is an agreement, and all these things here, these are the things that are inside the table view controller protocols, the delegate and data source. Data source tells the table view, this is how many things your data is going to be, this is what your data is going to be, right? How many data do you want? Your delegate is the one that's telling the table view what happens when the user interacts, when something happens, when something changes, right? So the number of sections is 1. Just want one section, right? For now, let me just get that cell to show. I know it's 2 sections, right? This section 1, this section 2. But let me just make it 1 so that I can show this first, right? And the number of rows in section, I'm just gonna return maybe 3. Just want to see those 3 cells. Now there's one other method I'm gonna do, a cell for row in this part. So I'm telling it the cell, right? I'm gonna say the cell is the table view, right? Try and dequeue reusable cell, right? Dequeue a reusable cell with this identifier, recipe cell, for this index part. For the index part that it gave me, this index part right here, right? For this index part, dequeue this cell here, this one that we registered as the recipe cell, right? And then return that cell. Okay, so now I should stop complaining. Okay, so it's telling me it's not sure, so I have to force downcast it. So it can break here, but I'm saying I know that when you dequeue that thing, it's going to be a recipe cell. Alright, so I'm going to build it and run it right now. Okay. Alright, so now I don't see the cells. So I don't know if it dequeued it or not, right? I'm not sure. But since it didn't give any errors or stop right now or crash, it actually dequeued those cells. So to make it easier to see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the recipe cell and I'm going to just add a label. So I have a label right here. I just want to see if it shows this label right now. And then if it shows this label, that means it actually dequeued it. So just put this label right there and just add some constraints to it like that. And then just enlarge it. Let me make it 40. Make it bold. And I'm just gonna make it white right now. Okay, so I'll run it again. So I just wanna be sure it dequeued those cells and loaded it. All right, here we go. So based on the settings I gave it right here for the table view data source, I told it I want one section and I want 3 cells. But however, it didn't give me the height, so this is smaller. So let me go and look at that height one more time. So what's the height of this thing? Select your cell and select your recipe cell like this, and the height is 260, right? So now I want to tell the table view just the same way I told it the data source, and just the way I told it 3 cells and 1 section. So I need to tell the table view the height. So I'm going to say height for row, and I'm going to return 260 like this. Then I'm going to command R and run it again. My battery is about to die. Okay, so there we go. So now we can see it returned 3 cells and it's looking good, right? So now you see when I select it, it's like it's selecting, right? It's becoming gray. So I don't want this gray selection. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go quickly take that off. So go to your recipe cell, and then once it's load, I'm going to say selection star is going to be none. So you hit dot and say none. I don't want that gray thing. So run it again. Okay, so when I select it, it's not graying out. Alright, so this is looking good. Now I'm just going to take off this stuffs right now and start adding all the text and all the label like this, right? And the images. So there are several ways to do these dequeuing of cells. You can do it programmatically. If you feel confident, that's one way to do it. You can do it in your storyboard scene, or you can do it using an XIB. I like using XIB because it is reusable, because I can use it somewhere else. So if I want to do the favorites or the categories, I'm just going to just tell the table view, you know, this is your nib, and then dequeue that nib for that cell. So let's go back to the cell. I'm going to check that battery and make sure it doesn't die on me. Just change my backup battery right now. It's like the whole world, everything doesn't want me to finish this video. But let's keep going. So just going to take this label away, because it has served this purpose. And then I'm going to set this color back, select that view, set the color back to white. Alright, now I need this for reference. Just going to move it to the side like this, and then I'm just going to shift this to the right. Okay, like that. Alright, so I'm going to look at it and create that. So now you can see that it is really a little, I'll say, more easier to use nibs for cells, because you can do all your customization, all your colors, whatever you want in there, and then connect all the labels and text, or all the labels and pictures and whatever. Okay, so we need an image view. So where's my stuff, my library? I'm gonna get an image view real quick. Okay, that's the wrong way to do it. So if you hit enter like that, it's gonna add it to the XIB, and it's gonna be like a, you know, inside the hierarchy. So you want to make sure you delete it from there. The right way to do it is drag and drop, right? We all like drag and drop, right? Okay, so I'm gonna stretch that out like that, and then what's the height? Select this height right here, if it can select, and then the height is 128. You know what, I'm just gonna shift this thing like this, because I know how that thing looks, right? I missed full screen at work. What was that? 128, right? Come here to the size inspector, 124. I'm gonna make it 128 like that. Okay, so that's the image view. Then I have one label here, one label here, and then I have a few things going on here, right? So just like I said in the beginning, there are several ways to do things, but there's no one perfect way to do it. So in programming, there are more than two ways to do things. So you either do the one that you're comfortable with and the one you're very sure with. But it's good to try out other things, because it makes you more versatile and more confident. So either I drop the labels like this right here. You see, I drop this one and drop this one, or I drop this ones, right? But if you look at it, you can see something is going on here. There's a kind of grouping or association, right? There's a kind of thing, like if you look at it very well, you see things are grouped together. For instance, this and this icon and this label looks grouped together. This one and this one looks grouped together. This one looks grouped together, right? And if you look at this label, and this, and all these things, they look grouped together. The best thing to do is to use a stack view, right? So it's to stack all these things, and it's easier to use stack view because you can set the alignment. You know, you can align it horizontally, you can align it vertically, and you can do the distribution. In distribution, we say how you want everything to be distributed once you align them together. So the best thing to do is to use a stack view for all these things. And just like I said, you can do it either programmatically, or you can take advantage of the storyboard or the interface builder. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go grab some images. We're going to get all these icons, this ones and this one. right? Okay, so let's grab this image first. So go to pixels and just type pixels and then select that, and then you can say food recipe like that, and just download this anyone you want. Save image as, save it to my desktop. I'm gonna save it as recipe 1. Save it. I'm gonna save this one as recipe 2. Okay, that's good. So come to your XC assets and just drag all those things and drop it there. Okay. So next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna download these icons. Now, Apple has changed their human interface guidelines, so make sure you stay up to date with the latest guidelines. So I know we used the thin icons, so we use these ones. We use these thin ones. We wanted to use these thin ones, but Apple has come up with a new guidelines. So you have to use a solid color for icons. So I'm just gonna do human interface guideline, Apple icons, like that. Okay, so if you come to icons, just like custom icons, you can see that Apple said we want to do it this way, right? We want it to be solid because this is what we had before, and just to avoid rejections and to make your app approved faster. So you want to go with the guidelines and the recommendation. So because of this, I'm going to be downloading another set of icons for all this, right? Okay, so I'm going to go to icons 8, and icons 8 is not free. Is you have to give attribution. Okay, so if you're using it for a production app, make sure you reference and give people attribution. So I'm going to look for a timer like this, and I'm going to look for a field one like this. This one looks good. I'm going to download the 50 pixels. Okay, and I'm going to download the hamburger menu and a fork and knife, right? I can just go with this one because it looks filled. Okay, so I forgot to change the color, so make sure you change the color to light gray like this. So download that 50 pixel. Let me download that other one, the previous one, once again. So change the color. Don't forget to change color. Change it to light gray. Because this color is light, right? So you want to maintain that color. Okay, just search for that one. This one looks good, and change the color to light gray like this, and download the 50 pixels. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to my XE asset like this. I'm gonna pull up a downloads, and I'm just gonna drag all those things. So you can just change the name. Let me quickly change the name right now. And change this one to timer like this, and change this one to menu I'm not opening it. So just change it to menu like this. Okay, and select all 3 items and drag it into your project. Okay, that's good. Alright, so for this image view, I'm just going to select an image for it. So I'm going to select recipe 1 like that and set it to aspect fill for the content mode. Okay. Now there are 3 labels here, so I'm just going to grab those labels real quick. So go to your object library, grab a label, stretch it out like that. And once you come to your sketch and select an item in your sketch, you can use your option key and hold option and then move your mouse or move your trackpad to the edges. So 16 to the left, 16 to the right, 8 to the top, right? So just gonna place that there. Make sure it's 16. In fact, just go to the size inspector and make that 16 like that. And check the width. The width is 312, right? So make that width 312 like that. Okay. So I'm going to change it to in the attribute inspector. I'm going to change it to smaller font like that, 15 or 14. I'll say 15. And I'm going to change the color to light gray, and I'm going to change the text to healthy. Okay, let me make it 14. Alright, so I'm going to duplicate that with Command D, and this one is going to be black, and it's going to be 17 like that. And I'm going to name it pasta salad like this, not that spelling. I can't type. Okay. So now I want to do this other ones, right? And you can see that these ones are kind of grouped together, right? They are forming some kind of association. So this one and this one kind of cluster together. This one clustered, and these ones. And then if you look at everything, it's kind of like clustered vertically, right? So this says that we're going to use a stack view. So before I do that, I'm going to create all this first. So I'm going to get an image view for the icons. So drag that image view like that. And I'm going to set this one to 22 by 22. Just going to go to my attribute size inspector, make it easy for me. 22 by 22 like that. Okay, I'm just going to borrow this label real quick with Command D, drag it down, drag it to the right, and reduce the weight, right? So this is 30 minutes. So let me change that to 30 minutes. Like that. And reduce the size to 13. 13 looks good. For this image view, I'm going to select the icon timer. Like that. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to select the 2 and bring it down a little bit. Hold my option and move it up to pasta salad. I'm just going to make it 12 for the spacing. Okay. It still looks kind of off compared to this because there's still space down here. Let me see. So option, this one is 8. Okay, so let's make it 8. So hold that command, hold that again, and hold option, point it to the pasta salad label, and put it back to 10, 8. 8 is good. Alright, so now I'm going to select these two items like this. So select this. First of all, select this icon and then add some constraint to it, 22 by 22 width and height. And then hold command and select your 30 minutes label. You know what, before I start doing that, let me just quickly just hold that thought and clear constraint. Then I'm just going to do command D. So I have the second one, and I'm going to do command D again, and I have third one. Okay. Maybe reduce this to 18 by 18 because it's popping out. Okay, yeah, that looks good. That's good. And make sure it's 16 from X. So basically, you can just play with this until you're satisfied. It doesn't really matter the width and height and the spacing. This is just preference. So if you like more spaces, you can add more spaces. So I'm just gonna do all those things real quick. So select this, then I'm gonna add height and width. Okay, and then I'm gonna select this label, reduce that length like that. Hold command, select that icon, go to your stack area and embed in a stack view like that. Okay, and I'm gonna change the spacing real quick, change it to 6 in your attribute inspector, and then I'm gonna do the same thing for this one. So hold this icon, select that label. Let's make this easy. So this icon is menu, okay, and this one is, let's say, hard. Okay, and then reduce the weight of that hard label and select that icon like that. Add those constraints and select label together and then put it in a stack view like that. Then you want to change the spacing to 6. Okay, and then do the same thing for the last one. So change that to fork and knife like that and add those constraints. In fact, you don't really need more constraints if you're doing stack views, because stack view is going to infer from one item. So I'm just going to command select this, move it to the left a little bit, and then give this label some weight, and that label is 6 people. So just say 6 people like this. Okay, and hold command for those two items and put them in the stack view. Then you change your spacing in the attribute inspector to 6. Okay, so now you want to stack all these 3 items. So select this one, hold command, select the second one, and select the third one, and go to your stack area and embed them in a stack view like that. Okay, so you can stretch it out like this, and you can make the spacing, if you want, increase it or reduce it. Okay, all right, so now I want to put all these 3 items in another stack view like this. So select those 3 items and embed them in a stack view. Okay, so I don't have a shadow view right now, so I'm going to grab a shadow view that's going to be behind this view that contains the whole stuff. Okay, if you haven't added a constraint to this view, it's right here. So add 8 to the top, 8 to the bottom, 16 from the right, and 16 to the left. Okay, so make sure you add that constraint. Okay, then I'm going to grab a UI view for the shadow view. Grab that real quick, and I'm going to put it behind that view, right? So this shadow view, let me quickly give it a name so I can differentiate them both. So this is shadow view, like this. Okay. Now this shadow view is sitting behind the view that holds all these good looking things, right? So this shadow view, select your constraint area and put it 0 top, 0 left, 0 right, 0 bottom. Add those 4 constraints. Oh, look at that. Okay, select that and clear that, right? Let's do it again. Okay, so we need to bring it to the front because it's giving us headache, right? Bring it to the front so you can see it. Command Z if you did mistake. Select that shadow view, and you can hold your drawer and move it to your desired width and height. Okay. Now we're gonna send it to the back. Okay, and now we're gonna apply constraint. So 8, 16, 16, 8. Okay. Now select your image view and apply some constraint to it. So 0 top left and make the height 128, and then add those 4 constraints. And then select your stack view. I can move it up a little bit. This stack view, hold option and point it to the image view. It's 18 right now, so I think it looks good from here. I'm just gonna add this constraint. So make it 16, and you can make this one 26 like this. Okay. So now it complains. What does it say? The healthy label and the pasta salad. Okay. So because I made it extra taller, that's why it's breaking. So you can just follow the suggestion and just change all those things like that, right? Okay, so now you can see this one is kind of missing. This one is kind of like trailing off. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to select that stack view like this, the one that actually select the one that holds those 3 stack things. So this stack view, and go to the attribute inspector, and you can reduce the spacing. Start reducing the spacing. So let me see that. Okay. Change your distribution to fill equally or fill proportionally. Okay. Oh, okay. So see the constraint that was added. So this is the one causing the headache. So just delete that constraint. Okay. I don't want that constraint. So now I can reduce it. Okay. So just make sure you take away that constraint, that extra added constraint, and now we're fine. All right. So that's the recipe cell. So I'm just gonna build it right now and see what we have. All right. Okay, that looks good. So this timer is not the one I want. It's not the one I downloaded, right? I want the thicker one, this lowercase timer. So just change that real quick. I didn't see that. So change it to timer like that. Damn. Why is it not saying it? That one, yes. Okay. Now that looks good. Alright, so that looks consistent. Okay, so the next thing we're going to add is the drop shadow. I'm going to add drop shadow so it differentiates the recipe cell and the table view controller. And just like how you would do like in programming, you can just go to Stack Overflow and Google for some solution. Now you can copy the solution. However, there's another avenue for you to learn and try things out. So there are people that have done all these things. So you just have to look at what people have done and try and understand what they're doing and apply that. It doesn't hurt. That's basically what you'll be doing for most of your programming life. It's just copying code. So you can just go and say let me see, drop shadow view, because the truth is, let me see, let me spell this well. I don't know how to spell. How to apply drop shadow. See, I wasn't born with computer. I didn't grow up with the computer. I grew up writing things on paper, so that's why I don't type that well. So just there are so many settings like this one. Just take it and apply it and play with it and change the colors until you're satisfied. The basic thing is to understand the process and the concept and what's going on in the code. So it's not to show off that I can basically type everything, because I've already gone and done my homework and looked for drop shadows. So what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to be like taking this kind of settings and applying it to the drop shadow. Okay, so in order to do that, we need to subclass the UI view. So this UI view here, this shadow view, we need to create a subclass of UI view that is a shadow view, so that when we apply that drop shadow to that class, we can use it everywhere we have a shadow view, just like how we're doing custom things, right? So we do it in one place and we can use it anywhere we want. So in your custom, create a new file, and because we're going to subclass UI view, you can just do that UI view like this, and then the class is shadow view. Okay, do not leave space. Hit next and create that. Okay, so basically just gonna start applying all these things, right? So we don't need the marks, the color, opacity, offset, radius, right? You just need to change all those things. Bezier path should rasterize, and rasterization scale. Okay, so this method says only override draw if you perform custom drawing. So let's try and override this one, because there are several solutions, right? So basically I'm just gonna start with this one. So I'm gonna do like this, apply shadow, and create a function that's gonna do all that thing, and that function is called apply shadow, like this. And this is gonna start setting all those settings. So I'm gonna take the shadow color first of all, and I'm gonna say is a UI color dot dark gray or CG color. Okay, then I'm gonna do the shadow offset, and the offset is a what's the offset? Select that, hold command, mouse over that, and show quick help. My God, didn't show me the, are you kidding me? Okay, shadow offset is a CG size, okay? CG size, we create a CG size, and the weight is, let's just say this one is 0 and that one is 8, right? And then what else? Shadow opacity, that one 0.3, like that. And then shadow radius, I'm just checking my camera, making sure it's recording. Okay, what else? Shadow path, right? And then we can use the UI Bezier path and create one that takes the rounding rect, and this one is the view. Okay, this one is it. What was it again? Self.bounds. Okay, so self.bounds like that, and this one is the all corners, and the radii, we have to create the radii. So let radii, and the radii is a CG size, right? So CG size like that, create that, and that one just put 8 and put 8 like that, and put that radii right there. Okay, what else? Should rasterize, right? Set that to true, and then and what else? What was the last one again? Rasterization scale. Okay, so just basically copy and paste all these settings, and you'll be good, as long as you know what it is doing. Because nobody said no, there was no nobody said that you're not allowed to copy code. So this Bezier part is a Bezier part, right? But we want the CG part of that Bezier part so that it stops complaining. Okay, we don't need this, just take all this away. Okay, just take all that away. Feel free to play with it until you have your desired settings. Okay, alright, so now we have the shadow view class like that. So I'm gonna go to my recipe cell, and I'm gonna select this shadow view, and I'm gonna call it a shadow view like this. Okay, so run that. All right, so there we have a shadow view, and you know, just the moral of the story is, you know, sometimes there aren't going to be any solution out there, right? Just imagine when iOS came out, the first time it came out, there were people tinkering with it, playing with it, you know, writing code and breaking code. So when you discover something, you put it out there and it helps people. You know, that's essentially what I'm doing in this tutorial. I'm trying to show you guys that you can build an app. You don't have to be an expert or an advanced developer. You know, just download Xcode and just follow the tutorial, and you can build this app on your iPhone and go show your friend or your brother or whoever and say, look, I built this, you know. So just put things out there to help people. Okay, you know, because people are looking for answers, people are always searching for answers, and by doing that, you're helping the community, you're helping people grow. You know, you're also doing good, and it's also gonna you know, in a nutshell, it's gonna be good for everyone. So that shadow looks nice and cute. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here, And that's it for this tutorial. I'm Chili Bean once again. In this channel, I show you how to make an iOS app on your iPhone so you can show your girlfriend, your boyfriend, you can show the carpenter, you can show the mechanic or your neighbor and tell them you're an iOS developer. And if you haven't already, make sure you smash that subscribe button and give this a thumbs up. And have a better way of doing it, just let me know and teach me. I want to say thank you guys for subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.